they both napped this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Cirilla's been waking up at night a little bit.
Okay.
Which we're kind of used to that. We can take care of her when she wakes up,
Yeah,
but it definitely like tires out Yao, so she'll take naps when she can.
I got you. Yeah, we're on a weird schedule. So first of all, Maya pulls all the weight. Like she does everything. So
Mm,
she's up in the. I'm the night person, right? But
yeah.
Maya's up at night taking care of him. Because she got to breastfeed him, and then he'd be crying all the time in the middle of the night. So it's a
Mm,
hit or miss if it's like every 3 or 2 hours. But like every once in a while
mm.
he'll actually sleep, but that's rare. Because she still got to feed him, right? But
Right. Yeah, especially at like a month and a half old, like you still have to do those nightly feedings.
yeah, I mean, but
Cirilla's,
honestly, oh, go ahead.
mhm. Oh, I was just saying, Cirilla's 4 months old, so they say like she should be able to sleep through the night, which she has for the most part, but like we're in a chapter where she like still just wakes up like once a night.
Hmm.
So we're not sure if like she's getting fed enough or what.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a good one, man. Because like even with him, it's you don't know if he's eating or he's just
Mm.
nibbling on her, like like he's
Yeah.
using her as a pacifier.
As long as the pediatrician's like fine with the weight he's gaining, they're usually not too concerned about if he's eaten enough.
Okay,
So hopefully he is. Yeah, Yao has the same worry, like, oh, how do we know if she's hungry? But like she cries when she's hungry, so I'm not too concerned about that.
right. Well, he cries all the time, like his dad used to. So I think I told you, man. I feel like I'm reaping what I sowed. Like,
Yeah,
cause I
you
was,
told me that before. Like you're getting paid back, karma.
yeah, I used to cry all the time, man, as a baby, just to cry sometimes. Just especially if somebody just didn't do something I liked or I was just uncomfortable. He
Oh
ain't
yeah.
he ain't no different, man. He's so spoiled too, man. It's just karma, man. That's all. Yeah, but yeah, I want to get all that on camera, man, because like, yeah, for next video, hopefully she's awake so you can show her off.
Oh
But
yeah, that would
yeah,
be cool.
yeah, I try to show him off every video, like at the very beginning, and
Yeah,
it's a hit or miss if he like stays calm. But
yeah,
eventually, he always cries because he gets tired of like a certain position. But
yeah. You just don't know. He's doing good right now, though.
yeah, you see how he looked like Vegeta? You seen Dragon Ball Z yet?
Oh, he does have that widow's peak. Yeah.
Yeah, you see.
Oh, he does. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny because I did notice. I noticed his hair, like his hairdo, like
Uh-huh.
he's missing some hair here. But
Yeah,
yeah, he has that Vegito widow's peak going
I'm gonna
on.
show. Yeah, there he is. He's showing himself.
Yeah. Oh
I want him to
man.
see it in the future. Like he's like bald, like right here.
Man, he needs. Yeah, he needs some hair back there. I
Yeah,
don't think I've
man.
seen. I don't think I've seen like one big tuft of hair right on the back.
I'm showing him so when he get older, he sees like me. Us talking
Yeah.
about him on video.
Oh, buddy, you're doing fine.
Yeah, but like I was telling mine, like when he becomes an old man, this is what his hair is gonna look like right here.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's funny if he has the exact same haircut 100 years from now or something.
Right. Yeah, I want to show everybody what Vegeta looked like. But have you seen Dragon Ball Z yet? Which one did we tell you to watch?
I watched Super.
All of it?
A good portion of it.
Okay.
I kind of fast forward through some of the tournament.
Yeah, it was a. They prolonged it. That's for sure.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah, I want to show everybody what Vegeta looked like. So on Dragon Ball Z, it's an anime, and honestly, I think it's like the first anime ever, like Dragon Ball. But I mean, I don't think that's probably true. Maybe in America, but yeah. So with Dragon Ball, it just relates up to a lot of life and just it motivates you to fight and like not
right.
fight physically, but like fight to like reach your fullest and highest potential in life. It motivates us on all different levels.
It's all about pushing your limits. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so like training, actually practicing. So Dragon Ball Z symbolizes a lot of stuff, like especially for men, but even for women, because like Maya watches it too. So like we'll do videos on Dragon Ball Z eventually. But my favorite character is Vegeta. Like, and
Mhm.
most people's favorite character is Vegeta. Is that yours,
I
Justin?
think I said I liked Piccolo actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
I
So
think so.
all right. So here goes Vegeta. Just in case you don't know who Vegeta is, like I should show you guys who Piccolo is now.
Gosh, yeah, he does have that hairdo.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like that's what my son's hairline looked like. It looked just like Vegeta's. Look at this one. The hairline go all the way back. I wish it was bigger. All right, yeah, here it is. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so little, man. Like I'm trying to share my screen and show everybody. All right, but anyways, let me make it screen bigger. All right, guys. So you guys see who we got back, man. It's been a minute. Like
Oh, it's been a hot minute. Yeah.
it's been a hot minute. Dang, I got to get my screen all set up. I was not ready for this. And I got my son in my hand and everything. Man, tell everybody where you been, Justin, man, while I do this.
Gosh, like everything I've been doing is just baby related right now. I wish I had Cirilla with me. That way we have both our babies. Maybe
Right.
next video we'll try to do that. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
for sure. Next video. Man, you've
And
been man, we got a lot to catch up on, man. Like,
no,
like
I missed
yeah,
the video. Our videos are our studies that had always been like my highlight because they it's not just reaching out to other people, but it helped me grow as well.
all right,
But
cool.
man, my wife has been a good my wife has been still like a good source of growth, I feel like, because we've been trying to do a Bible recap this year as well,
Mm-hmm.
just like going through the Bible chronologically.
Yeah.
Nope, buddy, you okay?
Man, I heard him coughing.
Burp a little.
You gotta go ahead and take
Yeah.
care of him when you hear that. I don't want to. I don't want people to think I'm a bad dad and call. I gotta worry about child services now. You know, like I never had to consider that
I feel like a
before.
majority of people don't have to worry about child services, though. I think,
Yeah. All right. Well,
unless you did something like really bad.
right. But I mean, I be hearing about some stories about people just calling child services just to call them because they hate
Mhm.
you and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, only if you have like, only if you have like enemies who are out to get you. I don't think you and I have enemies like that,
I
as
hope
far
we
as I
don't.
know.
I hope we
As
don't.
long as you're not doing like Vegeta style parenting. I remember one episode. It's like, if you can punch me in the face, I'll take you to the park that I like, that you like, or something. To
Uh-huh.
what's his son's name? Trunks.
Yeah, Trump. Yeah, I got it.
And then Vegeta ends up punching Trunks down.
And then I think he ends up taking him to the park.
Yeah, he ended up going to the park still. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but anyways, guys, we got a treat for you guys today. So this is me and Justin's. Let's see which video, like what number we're
Oh
on.
yeah.
I think it's
One of
our
those.
115th.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't realize we were past 110.
Actually, it's really our 116th. For some reason, YouTube got rid of our one of our videos. Like,
Ooh. Okay. I'm
the way
curious which one that was.
I don't know. I gotta show you. Like, I gotta look later. But like, it went. They said it went against their new policies or whatever. Like, they keep on
Oh,
changing
okay.
it. They're trying to just silence truth and stuff like that. So, but anyways, guys, let's get to the video, man. Like, so on my YouTube, Uplift past Crossroads, I got a whole lot of playlists, right? Got a whole lot of people I go live with. My main guy I go live with. I would say it's my wife. She's catching up to you, Justin, but I mean, she got a long way to go. But
Oh, is she? Okay.
but the main person I go live with is Justin Lee Howell right here. He's on video with me today. All right, so this is, like I said, this is our 115th video that we're doing together right now. Really, our 116th. And so we got a treat for you guys today. So today we're going to be talking about natural law, right? So let me go to my presentation, right? And actually, I haven't even like looked at these slides in a very long time. So first thing I want to say is like Justin was saying when we first started the live, like natural law is a video that I want to talk about for a long time. We just haven't
Yeah.
gotten to it yet. And so with natural law, the question I got for you guys is this. So we were talking about this in my introduction to Christian ethics class in seminary school, right? And so the teacher asked this question and everybody was scared to answer it. I tore it up because like some people was like saying some weird stuff. It was only because of the readings like geared them to say weird stuff. But here goes the question. I'll put it in the comment section as well. And so guys, with this question, you guys could give your thoughts, say what you guys think, and then yeah, let's all just grow together with what natural law is. So here goes the question. The question is, do you believe in natural law? Do you believe in natural law? Agree or disagree? What are your thoughts on it? And so to stimulate y'all's thinking with that question, let's talk about some things. So like in the Christian ethics book, An Essential Guide by Robin W. Lovin. This was a book I read for class, and she said to get this book, but she didn't mean to say get this book. She meant to She meant to say get another book, but I ended up reading a good portion of it. And so I wanted to read some excerpts from that book to like help the conversation. So the conversation is, what are your thoughts on natural law? Does natural law exist? Right. And so here goes one of the excerpts on page 46 of that book. For the Christian Jewish writers, the way the natural world seemed to teach this wisdom for living could not be separated from their conviction that the order of that world is the world of God's creation. All right, let's keep on going. Paul explained it in his letter to the Romans this way: when Gentiles who do not possess the law do extensively what the law requires, these, though not having the law, are a law to themselves. They show that what the law requires is written on their hearts. I think I'm gonna stop there. I gotta figure out where I'm going with this. But I guess like just I'll just take it over so I make sure to like keep on marking this video. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm about to start crying.
I think. Oh man, yeah, I see him. Yeah, this is a topic that I've always been interested in because I don't want to jump too far ahead of like
Man,
what you're
go
planning.
ahead. Go
But
ahead.
I definitely think there's a lot of evidence that would show that natural law exists because you see cultures and societies separated from each other that still uphold like very similar values. Like, of course, different cultures value different things, and that just happens over the evolution of mankind. But you see independent cultures like almost revere like the same thing or have like very similar morals. And I won't dive too deep into it until we talk about it a little later. But yeah, I definitely think the world just has evidence of that. And that goes back to general revelation. We talked about how there are two ways God speaks to us. One's through like special revelation where he like directly talks to us, and the other is general revelation where we just see the order of the world and just have to know that there's a creator out there or something that created like certain laws that humans abide by.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna read the definition of natural law. So, like, to
Mm.
help the conversation, some people in my seminary school class said that they don't believe in natural law. I'm trying to figure out where it said in. I don't think it was in that book in the excerpt, but it was in another book. It was talking about natural law and how they were basically saying because they used a scripture verse that said, like in the Old Testament, how if your skin's dark skin because you're from the line of Shem or something like that, Shem, because like Abraham had not, it wasn't Abraham, but somebody had three sons or something like that, and like it split it off to three different races. So some people know what I'm talking about that really know the Bible. But anyways, that God cursed, Shem and his descendants. So they say that that's black people, so that there always be suffering and struggling because of that one person's sin, right? And so I'm
Mm.
trying to think where it was. Maybe I'll find it in my what I was reading. And so that really offended a lot of black people that was in the class. So and even some white people. So they were like, yeah, of course natural law don't exist, like in that context. But like it was a curse. Like, God cursed, that race. Like we're still experiencing it today. Like it's kind of was a natural law. Like, that's what we're talking about today. Like what is natural law? But yeah. But anyways, let's keep on talking. So like the question of the day is this. So you guys can say what your thoughts are on this. And I'll try to find what I just said. Like that's kind of like stimulating y'all's thinking. Like so the question of the day is, do you believe in natural law? Like what are
Mm.
your thoughts on natural law? You know, and everything like that. So I'll just talk about what natural law is, and then we'll break it down from there. And then let's see. I'm gonna be reading while Justin talks, and I keep on elaborating on what natural law is. But
Mm.
when I think about natural law, like, do I agree with it? Yeah, like to say, like, does natural law exist? Like, do I believe in it? That's like saying, does gravity exist? Like, that's what I said to the class. That's like saying, does what comes up must come down? And then, like, I just think about like Newton's laws. Like, I'm gonna show a visual of Newton's laws. So here goes one. Dang, this screen is so little. Let me make it big, like everybody's
And
blind.
there you
All right, let's see if I can like scoot over. Everything's so hard to do with my son in my hand.
go.
Everything.
You're doing pretty well. He's behaving pretty well too.
I'm surprised he is. Like normally he would have been done cry by now. All right, yeah, that's pretty good. All right, yeah, all right. So then I think about like Newton's, three laws. So this is like the first law of motion. Body remains in a state of rest or uniform motion unless acted upon by a net external force. Man, I hate the word net, but I'm keep on reading. The second law of motion: the amount of acceleration of a body is proportional to the acting force and inversely proportional to the mass of the body. The third law of motion: for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I'll just stop there. All right. So like those are some of the laws, right, of motion by Newton. So like to say like, do you believe in natural law? That's like saying like, do you believe like if you fall off a building, will you fly? Like obviously you wouldn't fly, right? Because gravity, right? And that's another a law or something like that. So you can't go against how God created things to work and function in this life. Like one of my favorite playlists on my YouTube channel is actually a playlist titled "God Speaks Through Creation," right? And then another playlist is that I started is it's called Natural Law, but I also added science versus God or God versus science, and what does God think about science, which I kind of put in the title of today's video. So that's something me and Justin, we actually talk about a lot on my channel, but like I need to start adding stuff like that. Way more videos on like science and stuff because we got a biologist. You're a biologist, right, Justin? We got a biologist.
Yeah, biomedic. Yeah, biomedical.
Yeah, he's biomedical. I'll let him say the exact term. Is that the exact term?
Full terms like biomedical engineer, but I'm less on
Okay,
the engineering side.
okay, cool.
But
So
I'm
like
still,
yeah,
yeah. I feel like in the videos, I'm always fascinated how like biology and the natural world fit into the Bible.
right, and that's what me and Justin try to like push because a lot of people, a lot of
Mm,
Christians, they try to divide science from
yeah,
God or God from science, and they try
which
to
is a very
yeah
that's actually a very recent thing too. Like during the Renaissance, who are some people like Galileo, Isaac Newton, um, uh, Da Vinci? They all like incorporated God into their science and their art. Like when they studied like the planets, they saw like the math written in the universe, and they saw that there had to be a creator. So like they saw how like science fit into religion. But I don't know the exact history of where it got divided. But the fact that people try to separate it now is a very recent thing, and there's still some scientists and doctors who believe in God as well, and they see like they'll like continue their work seeing that there's a creator behind all it.
yeah. Man, this video is so hard to do it.
I'm pretty impressed you can do it one handed.
I mean, if he ain't gonna cry, I'll keep on holding him. But still, it's this thing. I gotta get used to this. You know what I mean? Because like I type so fast and I could do everything so quick, but with him in my hand,
Yeah.
I feel crippled. Like I'm hindered. But anyways, yeah, let's keep on talking about natural law. So
Oh,
like, do you
you need one of those carriers though. You can just hold them on your chest while you have both hands free.
Yeah, we got a few actually. Like I got a shirt like that's like
Oh
a
dear.
kangaroo pouch. Yeah,
I
but
think you showed me that. Yeah, that was
yeah,
so cool. Yeah.
I think he's getting so big now that like I can't really do it. Like
Oh
I
really?
don't know, he ain't big. He's really the same size, but he act like
Yeah.
he too big
He's
for it
still a
now.
tiny guy.
Right. I can't even remember how big he is, but anyways. All right, let's keep on going, guys. So
Yeah.
so like huh? Okay, he's 8 pounds, like 20. Last time he was like 21 inches, like when we first measured him. I
Oh
don't think he's
really?
really gotten taller. Yeah, I think he's pretty much the same. Probably not now though. Maybe he's like 22 inches. I'll give him that. But right. All right, we gotta get back to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Justin, you got any more thoughts on natural law, man? Like, I'm gonna go
Oh,
in, but I just want to see like what this book is saying before I go in.
I was interested to see where you're going to go with like bringing up Newton's laws. I think that's
Okay.
true. Like with Newton's laws are like physical laws. Like you see, if you drop something, obviously I'm going to see it fall. That's like evidence in a law of physics of gravity. And like I feel like that's the same with the natural law too. That you just see people, you see how they act, you see, especially from an anthropology point of view, you see how like tribes develop over time, and you just see that they all follow like some basic law as well. Like they can be completely separate from one another. But as a Bible verse, it was in Hebrews. Um, I, it was like Hebrews chapter 8. I'd have to look up the verse, but it like basically talks about how the law is written on their minds and written on their hearts, and it basically shows that demonstrates like a covenant or a connection that we have with God. And like you see that connection, you see people who have like very similar views. Obviously it's going to differ, and that goes into like our severed connection with God, and that's a bigger topic that maybe we'll get into later. But yeah, you just it's like the laws of gravity or like electromagnetic laws. You see evidence of it happening, so you almost can't question that we have a connection with God innately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I found some stuff. All right, so I see where I was going at. All right, so like I do this all the time on my YouTube channel. I always talk about a proverb. I think Proverbs is my favorite book in the Bible
Hmm.
now. So
Yeah.
like when it comes to the book of Proverbs, they're all general revelations made about life, and from those revelations, they're essentially observations and lessons about life that if we apply those observations and lessons, then we'll be successful and prosperous in everything we do. That's what a proverb is, right? And so like there's some proverbs like Proverbs 12:15 that says the way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice. Or like Proverbs 12:15. Well, that's the same version. All right, yeah, that's all the same version. Why I got all the same? All right, but anyways, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he who heeds counsel is wise, right? So some people think that they can live however they want to live, and
Hmm.
there's not any consequence to it, right? Or they could just operate however they want to operate in this world, and like there's not going to be any bite back, right? So like, or no penalty from God, right? But there's a way that God has orchestrated everything to function and work in this life, right? We serve a God of order, and like the more I read the scriptures, the more I see like if we don't follow God's order, then it's going to be towards our detriment, right? Like there's a way
Hmm.
that seems right to a fool, and that way ends in destruction. I don't know why I got that version, but that's another version in the book of Proverbs. Like that's what that verse says in other places, right? And then also it says like trust in the Lord, lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him, then He'll direct your paths. That's Proverbs 3 verse 5 through 6, right? So that says a lot. Like if you lean on your own understanding, if you live how you think you can live in this world, right? There's a way that God created life to naturally function. So, what is the consequence of going against the way that God has naturally functioned everything to work? I told you guys, we should serve a God of order, right? We don't serve a God of chaos. That's the complete opposite of order, right? So, like, if you are living how you want to live, that's chaotic. It's only going to bring about chaos, right? And that goes back to like Galatians 6, verse 7 through 10. Yeah, it says that God's not mocked, He's not deceived. What a man sows, he will reap. So if you sow corruption, you'll reap corruption. But if you sow the spirit, you'll reap the spirit, right? So if you do things God's way, you're gonna reap what? You're gonna reap the things of God. You're gonna reap godly things. You're gonna reap the spirit. You're gonna reap eternal life. Jesus promised, if you follow me, you'll have life and life more abundantly. So like, yeah, you got life right now, but like when you follow God and do what He says to do, then you'll have life and life more abundantly. So like, where am I going at with natural law? Like, there's a way that God has caused everything to function. Like with science, with natural law, see that's the thing that science presents, right? But like you apply that with the Bible, like how did God naturally make the life of a believer to function? Right? When you obey Him. See, that's another thing, like another layer. But then how does God function like to work out for a fool? Somebody who thinks that they know everything, because that's what the Bible, the
Hmm.
definition of a fool is. Somebody who's wise in their own eyes, somebody who doesn't listen to counsel, somebody who doesn't follow the commandments of God and thinks it's dumb and calls it stupid and mocks it and scorns it. I can keep on going. Like that's a fool, right? So, like, what is the consequence for somebody who contradicts the word of God constantly, not just with the words, not just with their, what they think, but with their actions, with their life, with their faith, their destiny, because that's what it turns into, And it's like that quote. I'm gonna do videos on it, but like, and I think I got it memorized. Sow a thought, you know, uh, reap a habit, sow a habit, reap a character, and then sow a character, you reap a destiny. Like so, it's a progression. Everything starts with the mind, right? With thoughts. So, I asked everybody to start off the video. What do what are your thoughts on natural law? Do you agree with it or disagree with it? To disagree with it, I would argue, is to disagree with how God created things to function.
Mm.
And that says a lot. Because if you disagree with natural law, right? See, that means you have something against how God orchestrated everything to work. Because you can't disagree with it. Like to disagree with natural law means, okay, go to, the highest peak in the world, wherever that is. I don't know where it is. Let's say Mount Everest, and jump down and see if you can fly. You're not an eagle. Go in the ocean and see if you can live down there just like fish, right? That's not how God functioned you to work as a human being. So, like, natural law, what are we talking about? Like, there's a way that seems right to men, but it's ways into destruction. Like, just because you think something's going to work doesn't mean it's going to work. The question is, does it work? Does God say it works for you, right? Let's go back to Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord, lean not on your understanding, right? That says a lot. Like, we're called to depend on God and rely on Him for everything. So, for all counsel, for all advice, for all help, we're supposed to run to Him instead of running to what we think and what's on our minds. Why are you looking like that? It's okay. But anyways, yeah. So, like, do you lean on your own understanding? Because, like, do you believe in natural law? Like, so many people lean on their own understanding on so many levels. Like, you know what I mean? In some area of life. Like, for example, for one of my seminary classes I just had this past week, the last day of classes today, it was called transformational leadership, basically. So, yeah, pastoral transformative leadership. And so in that class, one of my classmates, like me and her, kind of had a disagreement about money. Like, she thinks like her mentality is like some people just won't ever like they will always be poor, right? Like because money is. She didn't say it's of the devil, but like it's nothing. And so, and like my argument was like, money you attract, and you're a magnet to whatever you want to attract and be a magnet to. So like if you have a mentality like you can get money, okay, that's nice, but you got to be able to. It starts with the mind, right? Like if you sow a thought, you reap a habit, and that will lead to your destiny. Just like I said earlier, right? So everything starts with the mind. So if you already are defeated in your mind when it comes to money and your finances, and like you will never be able to make it, like that's your fate. But if you believe, like, okay, I'm gonna make this work, like, yeah, you gotta. One of my sermons I'm coming up with now is, and we gotta do a video on this, Justin. God gave me this word, man, just one morning, and it stuck with me. I haven't forgot it. He said, it will take faith, it will take work, and it will take God's grace. So it will take work, it will take faith, it will take God's grace. Like with everything you do in life, it will take work, it will take faith, and it will take God's grace. Like it takes those three things. You can't do anything in life without those three things. Now, if you're missing one of those things, or you're missing two, Lord help you, you miss all three. Like you're not gonna get whatever you're looking for, right? And what's funny is all you need is faith of a mustard seed, right? You don't need a lot of faith, right? Faith of a mustard seed can move a mountain. So all you gotta do is just have a little bit of belief, trusting in God's grace that He's bestowed upon you. His time that He gave you on this world. His gifts and abilities that He's given you. Just having a little bit of faith. Like if I put in this kind of work into this, and I have the faith that God told me to do this, right? Then I'm going to reap something good, right? But like it starts with it takes faith, it will take work, and it will take God's grace. Like God's grace has to be given to you too. Like God hasn't graced you to do a lot of things in this world. That goes back to natural law. Like some people think, like for me, I want to be in the NBA. Well, natural law says, Sean, you will not be in the NBA. Like, and I'm athletic as heck. I'm the most athletic person you'll ever meet, probably, right? But like compared to like, I don't know, Vince Carter. Let's go to the NFL. The way Troy Polamalu move and Ray Lewis, like I've seen what professional athletes look like up close and personal. Like one guy, Von Bell. He's a safety in the NFL right now. He's been in the NFL since like 2001 or well, no, about 2018. And so like with this kid, man, he let's just say he moves way faster than I can even think. And same thing for everybody else, right? And that's what like natural law is for him, right? So I mean, I could keep on going, man. I'm just talking now, but like, just I'll let you go take it over.
You said something early on that really clicked with me. And it's like a lot of times people try to make their own laws or they make their own rules of how they think the world is supposed to operate. And you see that all the time. Like I feel like that's the biggest source of confrontation or conflict is we're always arguing about what way is the right way. And you see people try to do things their own way without consulting God or like, and I do the same too. I'm trying to pray more just to follow God because I see the consequences of me trying to do my own thing. Or for let me think of a good example. Like you see lots of people have like one night stands or just living in the moment where they have sex before marriage or like they just try to live it up. And this I don't want to be like a strict. I don't want to have a stick up my butt about it, but like you see the consequences of that, in that people have people aren't able to develop deep relationships, or they have marital problems, or if they live a crazy life and then decide, okay, now I'm going to get married. Like it's almost like it's never too late, but they already spent like half a lifetime doing whatever they want, and then suddenly they want to try to take it easy. It's like that's not how the world works. Like you're stuck in a mindset of like following your own desires, um, only living for transient things that don't last. Uh, Divorce rates going up, like conflicts with your spouse all the time, and that pretty much goes hand in hand with like trying to do things your own way, not following the laws that God has for you. Lots of people think the Bible is just a book that tells you don't do this, don't do that. But I mean, it's a book that shows us the optimal way to live. And it's like, yeah, of course there are things that God doesn't want us to do, but it's for good reason. It's because those things are detrimental to our lives. Like they are ingrained in the laws of the universe. That if you have sex with a woman, people think, oh, it's no strings attached. It's just a one night stand. But no, the Bible says like our souls are intertwined, and the more times like you have sex with somebody, like the sex is going to be either like less meaningful, or you're going to have like a lot of um what's a good word, like I don't know, just problems with connections, problems with relationships. And like that's just a law of the universe that we can't fight. We may choose to live our own way, but the consequences of that are very real. I'm trying to think of other examples. Sex is always a good example because that's like it has harsh realities to it.
Yeah,
um but
shoot,
yeah, I
yeah.
mm,
I was gonna say that's what I was trying to go at. Like so many people like you think like that's a sermon I was gonna do for kids, like for a YPD day. But there was long story short, there was no kids there, so I just switched the sermon up. But the sermon I was
mm,
gonna preach on was like you can't do everything. Like
mm,
when you're a kid, you're told like you'll be anything you want, Jimmy. Like wherever you want to be, in, like you can do it. Like that is not true. And that's why I wanted to do this video.
yeah,
Like I don't have to look at my notes no more because now I see where I was going at. Like I asked everybody, do you believe in natural law? Right. So your answer to the question says everything because how you do anything says how you do everything. Right.
oh
And
yeah,
then even your thoughts towards something little like this tells you a lot about like how you're operating and functioning. Right. So to say you disagree with natural law, this is basically what you're saying. You're saying I can do anything. Right. I can do anything I put my mind to. That's not true. Because have you tried it before? Like I'll use an example. Like if I want to go to the NBA, like no matter how much I would have tried to do that, you know, and however hard I would have worked, I don't care how hard I would have worked. Like I just wouldn't have gone only because my basketball IQ sucks. Now maybe if I would have played since I was a kid, when I was a baby or something, and really understood, had coaches like break down the game to me and stuff like that, then I probably would have made it. But even then, like I'm 5'10", technically like 6 foot, like like that's a huge like barrier, like like a limitation. Like that's a
Mm.
huge hurdle to overcome. Like if I got to play against like Victor Wembanyama, who's 7'4" right now in the NBA, like he's a freak. He's 7'4", but he plays like a point guard, and he shoots like a point guard, right? And he's just a freak. Like we never seen nobody like him before, right? And then on top of that, let's go with football. Like I would have to tackle Derrick Henry because I would have played cornerback and safety. I don't want to tackle no Derrick Henry, right? You know what I mean? And that's just with football. Like I tried engineering. I hated every second of engineering. Like I'm good with math and I'm good with science, but when it comes to engineering, like that, it was just it's just not. I didn't have a passion for it. I didn't have a love for it. And that's another thing. Like you gotta have a passion and a love for what you do. You can't just do any and everything. Like and that's the whole point of this video. Like natural law. What is it telling you with your life? What is it telling you how you need to operate? Like how have you been operating? Like you have to go with the spirit and what the spirit is leading you to do. Like you have to go with where God's grace is directing you, what God's grace has bestowed upon you and given you. Like I'm gonna just say the scripture verse. I wasn't gonna bring it out because I was gonna save it for other videos, but I mean we're here now. But like I said earlier, like it will take grace, it will take faith, it will. I mean, it will take work, it will take faith, and it will take God's grace. So no matter what you do in this world, it will take those three things. Now I'm gonna talk about God's grace real quick. Like God hasn't graced you to do everything. I mean, but He kind of has, and that's the problem. Like like all of us can do any and everything in this life. If you want to be a porn star, go be one. I mean, for me, I can't because like circumstances never allow me to. Right? Like I'm a preacher now. I can't be a porn star. Right? And then on top of that, like it's just not feasible on so many levels. I'm married. I have a son. What's that reputation? It's just so much. It's so, and I'm a preacher. Like So you see what I'm saying? Like you could do anything in this world, but you can't do everything. Right? That's the whole point of natural law. Like what's God saying in creation? Like I told you guys on my YouTube channel, Uplift Past Crossroads, got a whole lot of playlists. One of my favorite playlists that me and Justin have done a lot of videos on is God Speaks Through Creation. Or like, what else did I call it? I call it God in creation or something like that. Like, yeah, God in everything because He's in everything. Like He's everywhere. So He could be seen through every single animal you think of. Like His glory is revealed in everything you looked at. Yeah, God is revealed in everything. God's in creation. Like, yeah, that's why I titled this playlist. This is one of my favorite playlists because, like, going back to science, man, like, you could see God in science. Like, why? Because God created science. Like, to contradict and say, like, science and God has nothing to do with each other, that's like saying, like, God has nothing to do with creation. Well, that's not true because He created everything, right? It even says in the Bible that God can be seen through the eagle. Like, you can learn lessons and applications in life looking at how the rock badger or the coney lives. Like I've done plenty of videos talking about that on my YouTube channel. Or
Oh
looking
yeah.
at the ant. Go to the ant. Man, the way that ants function and the way that beehives, I was just talking about that in my class these last 2 weeks. Like the way that bees function as a unit, as a band, one band, one sound. Like every bee is significant and every bee has a job and every bee matters to the colony, to the beehive, just like with ants. There's not just one type of ant. There's many different types of ants, and they all have a role to play in the colony, in building and helping the colony thrive and preserve their lives and for their growth. And they do it for generations. Like they don't do it for themselves. They do it for future generations of ants or future generations of bees. I keep on going. Same thing for human beings. Like your life is not your own. You're not called to just live for yourself, and the world revolves around you. Me and Justin did a video on that. That's one of my favorite ones we ever did. Like the world, just like the sun doesn't revolve around just like the earth doesn't revolve. How did we say it, Justin? Like
Oh
you remember that video?
yeah. I don't. I can't remember how we said it though.
Which one revolves around what? The earth doesn't revolve around the yeah, the earth
Yeah.
revolves around the sun. The sun doesn't revolve around the earth. That's what
Right.
he said. So like the sun is Jesus. The sun is God, right? The son of God, right? And then the sun, who shines brighter than the sun in this world? Nobody but God, right? Because God in heaven, we talked about it with Revelation 21 and 22, the two last chapters of the Bible, that God's going to replace all the lights in this world, like in the new heaven, new earth, the new Jerusalem, in the eternal state, with how heaven and earth's going to be for the rest of eternity. Like in the last chapter, I can keep on going. Like in that time period, like there will be no need for lights, for lamps, for flashlights, for whatever kind of light we get in this world, because God will be the light. It said that the Lamb and God will be the light. Well, it said God will be the light. He'll shine down on everything. And his light is so bright and so great that there'll be no hidden shadows. There'll be no
Mm.
darkness. No, darkness will be have gone away. Just like tears and sorrows and pain and liars and cheaters and manipulators and evildoers, like everybody will be gone that has anything to do with darkness. See, God speaks through creation, right? There's a reason why we have darkness in this world because, you know, this world is mixed with God and Satan and demons and stuff. Like so, like it's just so much, man. But going back, what God speaks to creation. What was I talking about? I don't even remember what I was talking about, Justin. Um, but yeah, like with the way that animals function and stuff like that, man. It's the way that God function made animals to function a certain way. He made human beings to function a certain way. I'm gonna wait to talk about that. I'm gonna let Justin say anything. I'm really talking now, Justin. Like I'm ready to go now.
Yeah, because you have a lot to say about it.
Yeah. So now I know where I was trying to go. I'm not really doing my notes now. I'm just talking now. But you want me to
Okay.
just keep on going, or you got something?
I do have something. Where were you going first though? I want to make sure I don't
Man, I'm just
detour
talking
you.
about animals, man. Like and breaking down how like God made animals to function a certain way, and they're functioning in that way. But human
Mm.
beings are the only ones contradicting how God called us to function. Like
Yeah.
out of all creation, right? So that's what that's kind of could be the end.
I'll yeah, I will. I'm gonna support that, but also contradict that a little bit
all
with
right.
something because a part something I really wanted to say was like, and I've said it before, like, um, I really think like we are kind of like animals in a way in that we instinctually know, oh, like murder is bad. Like you look at we go way back into history. You see like tribes that are just now developing. You see you see all these cultures developing, and you see like the ones that survive have kind of a very similar basis. They like murder is bad, stealing is bad. There are laws against that. And like how did these cultures derive that independently unless each one kind of had some kind of instinctual thing knowing that okay, murder and stealing is bad. The tribes that don't make it usually usually a lot of tribes or groups that don't follow those instinctual laws end up like not thriving very much. Let me think of a good example. I mean tribes you've just never heard of. Like if you have a group of 10 people and they're like murdering or stealing from each other, they're not going to last very long. But if you have like the tribes that really make it are the ones who have a basic law of okay, you can't steal, you can't murder people. You have to follow these basic guidelines, and there's always like this hierarchy as well. We just have an innate. We have even though we might complain about the government or leaders or like being told what to do, we have an innate desire to like follow somebody. That's why we have a hierarchy in tribes. That's why there are kings or witch doctors or like whatever kind of leader happens to be in the group at the time. And like that's needed to function. We know in our hearts, written on our hearts is we have the ultimate leader in God and we want to follow him. Even if you are not spiritual, you have an innate desire to like follow like being told what to do. Like it just makes life easier. So that's why these tribes and cultures have kings and leaders as well, because we have an innate desire to follow that. And those are the tribes that last. The ones that don't, the ones that push away from that usually fall apart and don't last very long. Um, let's see, the Spartans. Like lots of people love to, from like the movie 300 or like I think they were like Greek.
Yeah.
People like to look them up all the time, saying, "Oh, they had like the greatest culture." Yeah, they had like amazing culture, amazing ethics. But man, they were all about like infighting and conquest, and they didn't last very long. Like, where are they at now? Like, you don't see any Spartans anymore because they didn't follow, or Vikings. They didn't follow like basic human decency, and they like died off like very quickly because if you have people who are like raping or pillaging or killing, like people are going to be against that, and that tribe is going to fall eventually. So that's my evidence, I think, of like, yeah, I think Sean's right in that humans in general go against our instincts. That like we're the only animals that just don't have a good foundation. Like we can think for ourselves, which is a blessing and a curse. We think so much that we think, oh, I know better than what this person should tell me. So then they don't listen to that at all.
Yeah,
So we pull away from that, I think.
right.
But yeah, I think there's like tiny remnants of like us having those animal instincts, having those innate um functions that would should allow us to thrive, but because we've fallen and because we think we can know better, we just pull away from that.
Right. Yeah, I was reading some of these excerpts from the book. I should totally read it because like it went with what we said. Like human beings, like God is speaking through our experiences in life. Like He's telling us like what works and what doesn't work. But like you have to pay attention. You have to listen. Like after every parable and after everything basically that Jesus told His disciples and His real believers, His true believers, like He will always say, "Those who have ears, let them hear." Right? Or pay attention and listen to what I'm about to say. Like at the end of every single parable or something powerful He was saying, it was like, you have ears, like listen up, like. And so that's the question, like, are you listening when God is silent? Because even though He's silent, because how many times is He silent? I would argue He's more, to us we feel like He's more silent than He speaks. You know what I mean? Like we think
Mm,
that he's more quiet than He talks to us, but God is speaking through creation. Like He created everything, right? And how did He create everything? Through His words, right? He spoke everything into existence. And so, because He spoke everything to existence, everything has already been said, right? Like, you just have to pay attention and
mm,
listen, right? And so, God's not silent, right? The teacher's silent during the test because, like, just like with school, right? God's speaking through creation. Like, the teacher is silent during the test because they already told you everything. And sometimes, like in life, it's an open book test, actually, a lot of times, like the Bible, right? And it's all about like, have you the Bible is like Second Timothy like 3:15. It says like study to show yourself approved, a workman that's without blasphemy, that's without shame, right? You can't be without blasphemy, you can't be without shame, so you'll have nothing to regret in life. You have nothing like to be ashamed of because you did your homework, you studied, right? So like in life, have you been studying how God has functioned in your life to work? Like, have you mastered where God is trying to lead you, man? Like God is trying to lead us somewhere,
mm,
right? He's trying to get us all somewhere. But a lot of us are still in the wilderness, just like the Israelites. That's why their story is in the Bible. Like some of us are literally in the wilderness, in the desert, in the hot, scorching sun, where there's no water, barely any water, right? We're lost. We lost hope, and we don't think we'll ever get to the promised land. And God is trying to guide you in the wilderness, because what's funny is all of us have a wilderness. All of us will always have to go through a wilderness. It's just a matter of like where we're trying to get to, right? Do we know where we're going? Because all the Israelites, majority of them, right, they died in the wilderness. A lot of people die in the wilderness, right?
mm,
Natural law, natural order. Like, do you believe in it? Like, God's trying to get you out of the wildernesses to where that promised land is for you, right? And there's many promised lands. I won't just say there's one because the promised land was huge, right? So like, when I read these excerpts, I want you guys to think about that, like, and really read the words. So I'm gonna read it all again. But like, there's a way that God functions everybody's lives to work, right? So you have a purpose. God has a plan for you, right? And like, it's all about figuring out what your purpose and what His purpose is for you specifically. Because what my purpose is different than Justin's, right? What my calling is different than Justin. What God called Justin to do is different than me. Like, and we're not called to do the
mm,
same thing. But it's all about figuring who did God create Justin Lee Howell to be? Who did God create you? Who did God create whoever's watching this video to be? Like, it's about figuring out what is the natural law of my life, right? And going back to natural law again, like your experiences say everything, right? What you have been through say everything. Some things work that you have tried, and some things don't work. So going back to what I was saying earlier, is everybody called to be rich? No,
mm,
because some people's mentality just don't prohibit them to be rich, right? I mean, it just doesn't lead to them being rich, right? And it's sometimes not even mentality, sometimes habits, sometimes it's what you know, sometimes it's who you know. But I mean, sometimes it's
mm,
just lack of knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge. My people perish for uh it's another thing. Lack of vision, right? Mentality. So lack of vision, lack of knowledge, my people perish, right? That's going back to money, right? We'll talk about that a lot more on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna read these excerpts again, but Justin, I need your help with it, like just in case I missed something, right?
Okay.
Like I want you to give your thoughts on like what these excerpts are saying. I'm gonna go with the first one. Like this is probably the hardest one, or should I
Yeah,
just?
that one was pretty tough.
Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna save that one because it goes with these. So like this section is titled like the theme of natural law, rules known by everyone through life's experiences. So basically, with natural law, with the way God has orchestrated everything to work in this life, they're all set. They're a set of rules. That's what natural law is. It is known by everyone through our experiences with nature, right? Like, so through our experiences in this life, we can see everything, right? I shouldn't even read the definition, but the definition of natural law, a body of unchanging moral principles regarded as a basis for all human conduct, right? An observable law relating to the natural phenomenon. I'll use an example. I was going to say this at the end of the video, but I'll go ahead and go here. Like I did this video on Proverbs 15:22 before. It's so powerful. This is a proverb, right? Plans fail for a lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Let me read another version. The NLT version. Plans go wrong for a lack of advice. Many advisors bring success, right? So what is this proverb saying with natural law? Because that's what a proverb is. That's what I argue a proverb is. I told you a proverb is a lesson and an observation we can make about life. And if we apply these lessons and observation, we'll be successful. So just imagine, in order for your plans to succeed, it's all dictated about not just who you know, but who you surround yourself with, right? Are you around people who are where you're trying to go? Are you around people and surrounded by people who can get you to where you want to go, who know how to get you to where you want to go, right? You may say you want to be in the NBA, but if everybody has like a loser mentality around you, or everybody has like a lazy work ethic around you, you think you're gonna make it to the NBA? No. Like if you don't, it takes a village to get somebody to the NBA. You look at anybody in the NBA, NFL, it took a village. It took a community to get them to where they're at. It took coaches, it took family members, it took people making sacrifices for that person continually in order to get them to where they are today, for them to be seen and visible, right? And their plan succeeded in going professional, right? People's plans succeed with being on Food Network and being successful and all that. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because they surround themselves with people who do what they do, right? So like a lot of people, a lot of Christians, they're not. Oh, okay, I'm not even gonna go there. Let's just stay focused. So plans fail for lack of counsel, right? So like, is that you? Like, do you have people who who are preachers? Like, if you're trying to be a preacher, that's me. Do you have people like Justin's a biologist? He probably want to be Bill Nye the Science Guy, for example. Like, how many science people does he know that's like Bill Nye the Science Guy? You know what I mean? Like, so the more people you have like that, like imagine if Justin, hypothetically speaking, if he want to be the next Bill Nye Science Guy, right? Which I think he will be. Like, but like, imagine he wanted to be that, right? But like, in order for him to get there, like, imagine if he actually knew Bill Nye, the science guy, right? Bill Nye would give him advice that he never heard before. He would give him ideas that Justin has never even thought of before. Now imagine he knew 10 Bill Nyes, like all the scientists. Imagine he knew Einstein, right? That's just his nickname, by the way. But imagine he actually knew Einstein or just all the greatest scientists in the day's time period right now. Like, he was best friends with them. So with many advisors, plans succeed. It brings success, right? Because evil company corrupts good habits, right? But iron sharpens iron. That's another scripture verse. So like, when you're around like-minded people, when you're around people who, spark your thinking, spark your ideas, it naturally makes you better. It naturally, gets you places you never thought you could have dreamed of or be at, because it helps you to focus. It helps you, it motivates you to be better because you're around people who sharpens you, who makes you better. Like when you're around other believers, it makes you better, right? It helps you to live better, right? Because plans go wrong for lack of counsel. Like when you're around other unbelievers, you start, monkey see, monkey do. You're influenced by, who's influencing you, right? And who you're surrounding yourself with. So like, that's an example with natural law, right? So like through our experiences, right? And through the Bible, which is all the experiences we'll ever experience, right? Like we can know if we will have success or not based on, for example, if we are following the scripture verses, right? And following how it says to live, or if things just don't go well in this world for us. Like, if you keep, what's the definition of insanity? It's a saying. The definition of insanity is keep on doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting to get a different result. That's some people's life. If you keep on flunking a test, maybe that's not the test for you, right? If you keep on dating the same people, maybe those people aren't for you, right? You know what I mean? Because like it's funny. I was talking to this one girl one time, Justin, and like every guy she talked to looked just like me. They look just like me, but like they were different than me. Like you know what I mean? And but like that's a bad example. But like some people date the same guy, but
Yeah.
they just got different faces. They date the same person over and over again with the same habits, same bad tendencies, same bad attitude, same loser mentality. Like and they expect a different result, but it's not going to happen, right? So that's just one example, right? But Justin, I'm talking a lot, bro. Like I got a lot to say on this, man. Like you want me to just read the excerpts because like I was really going
I
in,
will
man.
say, yeah, I want to hear the excerpts. I will say really quickly as well. I do like how you're connecting people's nature as like a natural law as well,
Mhm.
because I think God has created, and we've talked about this in different videos too. You want to, it's not bad to explore different areas, but you definitely want to stick with your gifts as well when you're trying to carve out something for yourself in this world, because God has given you certain abilities already that we can hone and work on. It's we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Like if we go along with how we're made, like how what God has for us, like it follows the natural law and makes things a lot easier on carving our own path. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say for that. I just like that you are relating like how our nature is kind of a natural law that God has made in ourselves as well.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say let's go there for the next video. Let's just stay there. All right, 'cause
Mhm.
that's the focus, right? That's what I really wanted for the whole video. But I mean, I guess this was kind of good stuff, right? I guess me and Justin just kind of rusty, man. You know, it's been a minute. Last time we
Yeah.
went live was what did it say? 3 months, 4 months ago? It was 4 months ago. So Justin, you say everything you want to say for this video? You got anything left? Because you said you had something, but you didn't. You were scared it's going to veer off track.
Oh, no, I think I kind of said it. I was just saying, yeah, I think I said it all right. Just about how, like, I feel like there is evidence in, like, how people and tribes have developed that show that there's a natural order to things.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna tear that up, man. I can't wait. Like we're doing a part two, guys. Like we're not
Mm.
done with this at all. Like I got a lot more to say. It's about to get deep. Like I can actually go there now. Like I
Mhm.
was building it up. Sometimes it takes forever to build it up, but that's okay. Now we're about to have some fun. All right, but if you enjoyed today's video, you guys know the drill, man. Me and Justin, this ain't our first rodeo, man. We go live a lot. It's just been a minute since we've been live. So like, if you enjoy it,
Yeah.
listen to us. You know where to go. Go to our social media platforms. We got the best social media platforms ever. So here goes my social media pages, right? So go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Uplift Past Crossroads. I'm also on any podcast platform you can think of. And go ahead and show Justin some love on his YouTube channel. And that's not your YouTube, man. Now I gotta type it in
No,
with
it's not.
sign in my hand. You see how he fell down? Oh my gosh, Simon. Why can't you stay up yourself?
Son, you doing good, buddy?
All right, anyways, this is his YouTube channel, Chaplain's Log. All right, so hey, Justin, do you see my thumbnail for the video? I actually got a
Yeah,
thumbnail.
I saw that. That's kind of crazy.
I'm starting to do
I was
thumbnails.
wondering what you were doing with that.
Well, natural law, you know what comes up must come down. Does gravity exist? That's what I put for the thumbnail. But anyways, yeah, here goes his YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. After you subscribe, click the bell so you're notified anytime he goes live or anytime he uploads another video. Do the same thing on my YouTube channel, Uplift Past Crossroads. Let me find it real quick. As you guys can see, I got a whole lot of tabs open. So here goes my YouTube channel. So anytime I go live with somebody, if you scroll all the way down, you see a section titled like All Podcasts. And Justin's one of the first names you'll always see because like he always does the
Mhm.
most videos with me. So this is his playlist. So if you enjoy just hearing me and him talk, if you go to this playlist on my YouTube channel, his name, Justin Lee Howell, you can listen to all the videos we've done together. We got a whole lot, right? So make sure to support us like that. And make sure to like, comment, and share after you watch these videos. It'll really help the algorithm and tell YouTube you want to see more videos like this. It'll tell YouTube to show you more videos from our platforms and stuff like that. And then also, if you enjoyed us breaking down, talking about God speaking through creation, you won't worry more of that. Check out that playlist, God and everything. You can see God's glory revealed in creation. Right, check out that playlist and also check out this playlist, Natural Law. or God versus science, or what God thinks about science. That's why I titled this playlist. So this one, I know it's going to have a whole lot of videos on it because we already done videos on it. I just need to add them because I kind of just started this playlist. All right, but we're about to hit a part 2 for you guys and really tackle all this stuff, man. Like it's about to get deep. This next video will be way better than this video, right? We're getting our juices flowing, so get ready. All right, we'll talk to you guys in a minute. I think you may see Justin's baby, so we'll see. All right, talk to you guys in a minute. Peace out.
Peace.